What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. And this discussion with Michael Knowles and Dr. Rachel Levine is going to be a good one to describe why I am in the middle. I do not like to label myself as anything. You could call me middle MAGA. I'm going to probably coin that as a website. You could say I'm middle MAGA because MAGA is the only populist movement in our country, and I'm kind of stuck in the middle. Michael Knowles is not MAGA. He's just more of a standard textbook conservative is what I would label him. He tweets, "I used to feel sorry for Dr. Levine in the way one feels sorry for all sick people. Increasingly, I feel sorry for Dr. Levine in the way one feels sorry for a criminal." So he's taking things to another notch. If you don't know, Dr. Rachel Levine is the Assistant Secretary for Health. And Dr. Rachel Levine was talking about gender-affirming care because Rachel Levine is a woman, trans woman. So here's where my boundaries are. Before I played this video, Michael Knowles, I want to make it clear to YouTube. I mean, they can pull it down, give me a strike or whatever the case may be, but I just want to make it clear before that happens, I'm not here to misgender anybody. That is a place where me and Michael Knowles differ. Michael Knowles in this clip is going to misgender on purpose, and you could say in a very disrespectful manner to Rachel Levine. And I think if YouTube pulls that type of stuff, you're actually hurting the discussion more because I'm trying to give a different perspective. I'm not even trying to do what he does. Here's the boundary that I set before I played this video. The boundaries that I set are, if I don't know you and you're a perfect stranger for me, or I've seen you before, but we don't have a relationship, I'm not going to just call you whatever you want to be called. I will honor your he, her, and she, his. I will honor those male and female pronouns. I will draw the line if I do not know you like that. I will draw the line at I'm not calling you it. I'm not calling you a made-up pronoun. I'm not calling you they, them. So that's my boundary. And the boundaries are, I want to respect you, but I want to make sure that you respect me also. Here's the clip from Michael Knowles responding to Dr. So I'm going to respond to Michael Knowles responding to Dr. Rachel Levine. Welcome to the internet, everybody.
After weeks of dismal news for Democrats, from the courts, from the economy, and most of all from public opinion polls, the American left has decided that the best way to turn their bad luck around and salvage the midterm elections is to put a transvestite bureaucrat on television to demand that parents trans their little kids.
Gender-affirming care is life-saving, medically necessary, age-appropriate, and a critical tool for healthcare providers. As a pediatrician, when it comes to making sure kids are healthy and happy, I know how important care that affirms someone's true identity can be.
I feel sorry for Richard Levine, that guy. I'm not being facetious when I say that. I truly feel sorry for him. He is obviously a tortured and extremely confused man, and he is being encouraged by powerful people in his delusions.
And I don't agree with, and it's not even about do I agree or not with Michael Knowles. I don't want to do anything if there's nothing to accomplish by it. So there's certainly moments when I've probably said something out of spite or anger or whatever on the channel that it wasn't productive. I'm sure that's happened before. But in response to Michael Knowles, if you wonder why people who are not conservative look at conservatives or people who could be labeled as conservatives, I don't know what he labels himself. If you wonder why they look at Michael Knowles and they could say, or Matt Walsh, and they could say, I hate you, or there's anger there, I don't think they're right for that. Just like I don't think Michael Knowles is right for misgendering and kind of disrespectful in his analysis of the mental issues. He can have his point, but that will only feed anger. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to fall into that trap of stoking. It's just like a fire that you might have a campfire. Got to keep putting logs and sticks on it to keep the fire going. And what he's doing is keeping the fire going of anger. Michael Knowles said that Dr. Rachel Levine basically told everyone to kind of transition their children, and that's not what she said. But I do have feedback for Dr. Rachel Levine. When you talk about keeping the fire of hate, stoking that fire of hate, in keeping it alive and keeping it going, we all have responsibility. Dr. Rachel Levine, you have responsibility here. You are a part of this stoking the fire of hate. And Dr. Rachel Levine, your responsibility is to give us the pros and the cons, the potential downside. I don't have a problem with Dr. Rachel Levine discussing the importance of gender-affirming care. That's an opinion. I couldn't care less. And there's a lot of opinions that politicians talk about. Recently, these officials are recommending proxy war in Ukraine, medical stances, whether it's the pandemic or other things, critical theory, gender-affirming care. You can have whatever opinion you can. You can recommend whatever you want. Doesn't mean I'm going to listen. If they follow the Constitution, I don't care. The part I can't stand, whether it's MAGA, Dems, GOP, popular stuff, any one of them, is they don't have an honest discussion on pros and cons. So look at the proxy war in Ukraine. If you go to the establishment, Republican and Democrats, it's all pro, all the reasons why we should do a proxy war in Ukraine. And they're not even honest about it being a proxy war when obviously that's what it is. And then you look at MAGA, MAGA only has the negative side. We don't have a discussion from one party on the pros and cons. So Rachel Levine's up there. Unless you have a separate MAGA retort, you're not going to see a pros and cons. There's a responsibility on Rachel Levine. She has not fulfilled her responsibility. She's not the only one. They all do. She has not fulfilled her responsibility to give us the pros and cons. What is the downside? Why aren't we having a discussion about differentiating when this is the right path and when it's the wrong path? Or at least even bringing that up. Obviously, gender-affirming care is not the right thing for everybody. So I know she could say, well, just go to your doctor. Well, you're talking to parents too, just in general. You can do more than that. I don't even know if she said that part, but you can do more than that. And my last thought is, when you don't do that, it stokes hate. So you got Michael Knowles back with hate, because Dr. Rachel Levine also could say, I know that every person in our country doesn't believe in gender-affirming care. My message to you is this is not to usurp or to disparage your beliefs. I want to speak out to parents who are open to this. No disrespect to those who aren't. She could say that. If you don't want to stoke hate, that's what you would say. She does not say that. So what that does, because if she had said that, then Michael Knowles might come back with a retort. I guarantee you the retort would not have been as vitriolic. I guarantee it to you. Because he would look crazy if she were like, conservatives, I don't hate you. This is my story, my opinion. Here are the pros and cons. I don't know if he would even have done a reply to that. We all have responsibility for this. And that also allows Michael Knowles to say, you want everyone to confirm their children, any child that presents some type of gender concern, because you never distinguish when to and when not. So now Michael Knowles can be like, well, it sounds like you're saying it about everybody, but she never said that. But you can come away with that conclusion. That's fair, because you never talked about a dividing line or even mentioned that it might not be for everyone. That's why I'm in the middle. That's where I think we need to live. Let me know what you think. Take care.